everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today, as you can see behind me, we are back at the whale tail and we've been in this position so many times. I think I've actually come here with the thing in my head to do it for about so many months, probably about four or five times we've been in this position wanting to hit it, and I actually have hit it. So last week on Tom's channel we came here, I was on the e-bike and I had like a epiphany, if you like I was like, right, I'm not going until I've hit it. Like, I had a weird thing in my head where I was like, I can't look at it anymore because nothing's going to change, it's still exactly the same. I've just got to hit it and actually see how it feels, and I did it. And you've probably seen that on Tom's channel. But today I wanted to come back because I want to share it on my channel, but also I've got the Lapierre trail bike, and you might have seen in my last video I rode this at our local woods and it was really good. Felt really confident on it, and I want to try and do the whale tail on it because, like I said previously, the skills are different. You've got to generate more speed on this because you haven't got the e-power like you do with the e-bike. And I feel like I've definitely ticked this feature off then when I've done it on both my e-bike and my regular bike. So what I'm going to do first of all is we need a bit of a warm-up because we've just got out the van and we can't just go straight into something scary like that. So there's a trail of table jumps just in this wood section here, so I'm going to go up to the top and hit those. Right, I'm at the top of the mouse traps now and I'm going to ride the table line as a bit of a warm-up to get me used to the bike, get me used to being like in the air, jumping and things like that. So let's drop in. Okay, here we go then. Got to get the right gear. Yeah. Yeah, this is it. All the leaves have fallen now. Oh, the sun's in my eyes. Yeah, nice.
Nice little warm-up. You was flying down them trails.
Yeah, so we've had a bit of a loosen up and yeah, I think it's time now. We're not going to beat around the bush today, basically. We're going to get straight into it. And I'm just going to do a tester, so I'm going to get the speed because I'm not going to go all the way to the top of the trail, although I want to do that later on, but I'm going to go from halfway, get a tester for speed, see what it's like, and then we'll give it a go. So I'm going to get up there right now.
Quick question.
What?
Is it any less scary than it was the first time around, or is it scary because of a different factor being the bike?
It's scary because, so the very first time I went onto this platform was on this bike and I bucked quite a lot because basically it's a lot lighter than my e-bike. So with the e-bike you've got a lot more stability, so when you case it, it still bucks you a little bit, but it doesn't send you quite as far. And obviously in your video that I did it on my e-bike and I still bucked a little bit, so I'm just, basically it's scary because I'm bracing myself to be bucked. And then also as well, it's that thing in my head where if I case and pedal, I'm going to have to put a bit more effort into pedaling to clear the gap on the out, because with the e-bike obviously just one or two cranks is enough to get a lot of speed, whereas on this bike you've got to really put the effort in to get that speed. So that is basically what I'm worried about. I'm not necessarily worried about the feature now because I've already done it, but it's that aspect of it that I'm a little bit concerned about. But anyway, we're going to do it and I'm going to get up there and do a little test run. Oh, that sun's really off-putting. That's fine. I think that I'm going to get enough speed, but on the berm up there, that sun, unfortunately the time of day we've come here today, that sun is blinding and as I come out that berm I can't really see, but luckily for me right now here is fine, so I don't really know what else to do. I think all that's left to do is to just actually get onto it and see how we get on. Right, I'm in my start gate now and I'm actually really nervous. My heart is going pretty fast right now. I kind of have just got to think like I've done it before, I know what to expect. Like it won't be too different on this bike. I've just got it in my head for some reason that I'm going to buck and go really like over the bars, but I can't think about that. I've just got to go for it, don't pull the front brake and just get out the other end. So nerve-wracking. You always think like, well, I kind of have learnt now to think otherwise, but like really it should be easier the second time round, but it never is. It really isn't. You always get that same sort of nervy feeling, especially on something like this. It's really, really scary, quite dangerous, and if it did go wrong then there is some consequences. But anyway, just got to go for it. I'm putting it off now because I know what's coming, but what is coming right now is a huge send over the whale tail, so it's time to drop in. Here we go. Around the bend, carry speed. Oh my god. Oh my god, wow, that was so scary. Oh.
That was sick. She did it. I was watching down the camera. I was pretty nervous for her. I don't really know what happened. We're going to catch her reaction now.
That was so...
I could have, from where I was, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it looked like you nearly rode off of it.
It did. That was close. That was really close.
How close to the edge was you?
Like so close.
Really?
Like I was in the air, and like basically what happened was I almost done like a transfer in the air and landed like really close to the right, like jumped to the right basically, and like, you know, in the air you look at the front wheel and there's nothing underneath it.
Yeah.
It was like that, and like I wobbled a bit, obviously bucked, which I knew was going to happen.
The buck wasn't actually as bad as I thought.
Wasn't bad, no.
It was the wobble which I could see. I'm going to come into the conversation now, and what happened was, because you was nervous, you jumped it wonky out the lip, and because it's a pretty narrow setup, it doesn't give you much room. If that happens sometimes when you're scared to do things, it's called like a dead sailor. You jump in, you go "Huh," and you twist, and then you did that and it went all funny in the air. On a normal jump you have a bit of space to get away with it.
Your landings are normally pretty wide,
but that's what makes these features hard, is you have to be pinpoint accuracy.
God. But now I've got to make the call, because
do you want to do it again?
My plan for this video was to do a top to bottom run of the growler, which is what this is. This is the final feature of the growler line. And after that, like, all I'm doing now is comparing it to the last session, and you shouldn't really do that because last time I felt so good on the bike. I was so confident. Like, I was so lucky in the fact that I had, every time I hit it, I had a really good run basically, and hit it pretty, not perfectly because I still cased it, but straight basically is what I'm trying to say. And I guess that is because on the e-bike I feel more confident, I feel more comfortable, and I ride it an awful lot, whereas this bike I don't ride hardly at all, so it's unfamiliar. And then where I'm trying to ride this bike and ride a feature that I'm not really that comfortable on as well,
too uncomfortable,
it's two things that are going together. So I've got to make the call now, and I've already made the decision. I'm not going to do that again because that was too much.
So for me, growing up on a dirt jump bike, when I ride these bikes, any big bike, whether it's an e-bike, downhill bike, enduro bike, they feel solid as a rock because a dirt jump bike's so small and twitchy. But for Cara, who's learnt on a heavy bike, it's really good because it's made it safer for her whilst learning. But what it has done is it's made anything underneath an e-bike or anything lighter than an e-bike feel really nervous. So it's had the opposite effect, but an effect that you're not used to. Whereas the other way is a lot safer because the bike's stable. I can hit anything on my e-bike, it's not going to move at all.
No.
Well, that's really good.
But I think basically, so based on that, I won't do it again because
scared yourself.
I've not so it's good to scare yourself, and I have pushed myself really far out of my comfort zone today because, like, my e-bike's almost like my comfort blanket in a funny way, and I feel like for the level that I ride to on my e-bike, like, I'm ready to do this. Maybe I need to practice a little bit more on this bike and get used to hitting gaps, like, because really I've never really hit in gaps on this bike even, and I'm trying to do a big feature like that, so maybe I was being a bit ambitious, but I'm glad that I did it. I'm glad that I had a little scare, because it's brought me back now to actually realising that might be a little bit far out of my comfort zone and skill set on this particular bike. So gutted that I didn't do the top to bottom, but still happy that I actually rode the whale tail. And even down to like the last few weeks, like, I would never have imagined hitting that and getting out of it. But if you do want to see me do the full line, I did do it on my e-bike last week, and it is on Tom's channel, so I'll leave it up here so you guys can have a look at that. But what I want to do now is get the stoke back, and there's a couple of drops over there that I want to practice on this bike, and we'll see what else we can find, because there's so much stuff here. It's such a cool place to ride. So let's go to the drops and we'll session them for a bit. These are the drops then, so I'm going to go up to the top and practice my enduro bike skills on drops right now. Let's do it. That was so good. That was pretty easy, but it's still a really good skill to practice. So we're gonna go and find something else to ride now. Right, we're over at the training ground now, and there's a cool little line that's just behind me that's like a table jump, a little step down, and like a huge, well not huge, but a longer table. Just like that guy just demonstrated. But as you can see, the sun's going, the sun's setting, so we're gonna cut together a nice little sequence here to end today. Nice, that was sick. Did you get all of that?
Yeah, it was all good. I want to just get a bit more focus on the last jump, because it looked like you went big, and obviously it's a wide lens.
I went big by accident. It kind of took me by surprise. In the air, I was like, "Oh, that's a bit
slow
big."
motion of it.
Yeah, we could get this jump and then that one.
Yeah, in slows.
Nice. I'll get back to the top. I did a cheeky little bar. Well, I call it an X-up, but actually an X-up is all that way, isn't it?
Yeah, like X-up, because then it makes an X with your arms look like.
But I did a little doot like that, a tiny little tweak. Huh?
Did you mean to do it?
Yeah, I was trying.
Yeah.
I did try to do a little sort of something rather than just go like that over it. But the sun is setting rapidly now, and I'm really hungry. I really want a coffee, and I might even get, because in the Shell garage on the way home, they do brownies, so I might get one of them on the way back. But anyway, today, bending it. Today's been good. Like, I'm a little bit like disappointed that I didn't get the top to bottom run and that I only did the whale tail once, but I think once I'd done that like dodgy manoeuvre, that was enough. And like, as much as I really want to send it, like I always say, you've got to know when to draw the line, otherwise it could result in an injury or something like that. But anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up, leave your comments, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.